of all of them in a Homeland Security meeting, and they're actually having a feast at the meeting. So this is some amazing footage we're showing. It's actually dung beetles rolling piles of you know what. All right, that's enough. Gary, you're doing a great job.
Well,
you're right.
Alex.
They're so disconnected from reality. That's enough, guys. Thank you. Enough. I can't look at her all day. Get her off there. Anyways, the point is, they're so... I'll hold you over a minute if we need to. The point is, they're so disconnected from reality, Gary, that they think when they make fun of us for covering reality that people are still listening to them. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, they're trying to paint my association with you in a negative light. I mean, I've been working with you for years. You know, and we're having great success.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Most people I've worked with and helped attack me later and make stuff up. You haven't done that, Gary. I guess you're not mentally ill.
Well, they can try to pay me as such, but I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to stop.
I think it was good in Soviet Russia. If you didn't love Stalin, they drugged you. I think everybody's children, if they love George Washington, they should be given lobotomies. Well, let's finish up on the other side. Then we got a FEMA camp insider coming up, those imaginary camps. We have photos. Stay with us. We got to realize how pathetic these globalists are and stop putting them up on a pedestal. They're like rotten, low-life cockroaches. Criminals. I'm done with them. I'm done just groveling to the system, being afraid. I'm done. And you know what? That attitude's contagious. Now, we've got some really chilling information coming up, so I've got to stop joking around here with Gary Franchi and be serious. We've got our whistleblower joining us in just a minute. I've got to be careful about exactly what I say or they'll figure out who they are, but so what if they figure it out? Well, I guess if you're in the military, they've got control over you. But it's more than just people in the military. I know I can say that much. And this is a confirmed FEMA training center. We've got some photos. We're going to get more photos and videos soon, but we've got to be sure that it doesn't expose them. It's all at Infowars.com right now. Source exposes FEMA camp training center. This is where they train them for the camps all over the country. You have the different programs out there that I'm going to have added to Kurt's article after we get more info on this from the guest with how they admit they're hiring people for FEMA camps. It's all there. It's amazing information. Okay, going back to Gary Franchi. Gary, you got cut off by the break. Again, it's just an amazing hit piece on you because it actually makes you look good. It makes them look like they worked for Pravda in 1980 or something.
Well, that's exactly what they do. They are the spin masters attempting to slander using name calling. In fact, when I had replied to Dedman in my email, I told him, I said, you know, I'm not somebody who likes labels. I'm not someone who likes to put people in a box and try to separate them from the masses. And I told him I think that's a major problem that we have in this country today. And of course, what does he do in the headline? He puts me in a box and labels me. And then there was some exchange between me and him about the Southern Poverty Law Center. And I told him, look, I am proud to be listed on the Southern Poverty Law Center's website alongside Ron Paul, Alex Jones, and the like. Because you know what? Because we're doing great work.
Oh, yeah, they act like, the Southern Poverty Law Center, a discredited, federal hit group, says you're extreme, like they control reality.
Yeah, and so with that being said, he did his best, and, whatever. Look, we're taking over the signal, Alex. Like I said before, this is the dying breath of the mainstream media, and we're going to win this thing. We're going to take it all the way, and win or lose, we're winning, Alex. Win or lose, we are winning. They can put out as many hit pieces as they want. Bring it on. Promote
I told Politico a few years ago when both political parties were attacking Rand Paul, and I said, don't you get it? The more you attack him, the higher his ratings go. Then Bill Clinton went to town and attacked him. He got 6 points or more, expanding his margin of victory to like 16 points. I said, you're out of bullets. The only way to defeat Rand Paul is for you to endorse him because you're so discredited. Don't you get it?
Well, I'm getting phone calls from family and friends today, people opening up their email box and are seeing my name in their, MSN.com Hotmail accounts. So all this does is further elevate me to a national level, and people are going to start looking into the work that I'm doing, and I hope that they will find some information that's going to cause them to ask questions, to investigate the facts further. I mean, this only helps the cause, Alex.
No, it does. Every time they demonize us and say, don't watch Camp FEMA, it's crazy. They say the government's training Yugen groups, youth groups to spy on people, and you have all the documents and video in the film. By the way, it's available at Infowars.com. People want to get Camp FEMA. It's excellent. I'm in it. Listen, great job, Gary. We'll continue to talk to you and track what you're doing, and folks can go over to the Revolution Pack and get behind the fine work you're doing in this move to put the poll watchers out there and actually have alternative independent media documenting the chicanery. Thank you, Gary Franchi.
Thanks for having me on, Alex. Pleasure.
Pleasure having you. Okay, there he goes. Let's go ahead and get our next guest on here. And I'm going to go over to Infowars.com because in my stacks I can't find my FEMA camp story. Folks, we are kicking the New World Order's teeth in, but they're counter-striking by controlling the infrastructure with a whole cornucopia, a constellation, a cocktail, with a stratagem to begin to shut down free speech. So it is absolutely essential to start getting the word out now and to use Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com. The information on Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com. It's time to use the Twitter, the Facebook, the YouTube as conduits to get this information out to everybody. The system isn't openly trying to sell web censorship. I mean, I read these articles every day. Twitter agrees to total censorship whenever the government asks. Facebook agrees to it. YouTube agrees to it. In England, they admit they're about to pass regulations to restrict the web. Canada, the U.S. I've got all these articles out today where the system admits they're doing this. I mean, we've got an article at Infowars.com that is so huge. DHS to launch insurgent tracking drones inside America. 30,000 of them, in their words, to track insurgents. As if they need 30,000 drones for all the Al-Qaeda, who they work with and give control of Libya. I mean, it's just bonkers. It's for us. It's always been for us. And now they're in the news saying it's for right-wingers. It's for gun owners. It's for anti-war people. It's for Amish. It's for rural communities. Anybody that doesn't want to be a slave of the system. It's a corporate takeover of every facet of society. Now, on this subject of FEMA camps in America, Kurt Nimmo did a blurb on this, but I'm going to have him, such a great prolific researcher and writer, add more to this story, because last night this information came in from a source that's given us info before that's been accurate, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I at least wanted to be able to kiss my children on the forehead, even though they were already asleep, so I got home about 10. So I spent about 30 minutes on the phone with this fella, did some checking with some satellite photo stuff through Google and other systems, and checked it with some other sources, and checked it with the Civilian Inmate Labor Camp Program, and did confirm this is one of the training centers for that, and that indeed the photos he sent us were accurate. And again, we're going to get more photos and post them once we can be sure that it doesn't reveal who our sources are. But I can tell you it's multiple sources, military and others. And they're pretty freaked out. But let's be clear. The federal government, and I've played the clips, has said NDAA will kill citizens without warrants or even arrest. No one will ever know where you went. We'll put you in black sites. It was in the news yesterday that in Europe and Iraq, a headline, London Guardian, more secret prisons found. In fact, put that in. Let's show folks that. More secret prisons. Torture sites in Romania. Torture sites in Egypt. Torture sites in Iraq. And you've got Lindsey Graham saying, if a citizen asks for a lawyer, we say, shut up, you don't get one. And then we cut in the video to the same debate, and creepy Lieberman says, we want Americans to be scared. We don't want you to know how we torture you. I mean, this is Jeffrey Dahmer stuff in your face. They need to do it openly so that everybody just thinks the crime is okay because an authority figure is doing it openly. This is how tyrants do it. Just like it comes out the troops are growing opium. The troops are getting upset. They just have Fox, CNN, BBC, ABC News all admit the troops are ordered to grow the opium in Afghanistan. And the troops are all made to stand around the news going, yeah, we don't like it. Well, why are we on TV? Well, because it's okay what you're doing. Geraldo says, thank you for standing up for America. Yeah, there it is. RAF helicopter death. Revelation leads to secret Iraq detention camp. They've got them all over the place. Read the Army's reports. Will they torture you? Will they try to arrest you? I don't know. Does the Army's own report say that they rape children? I mean, go read it. You can't make this up. With acid. Go read it. Just type in Abu Ghraib Army abuse report. They call it abuse. Killing people, beating people to death. This is what we've signed on to. Abortions, it's just a procedure. Torturing a 5-year-old kid, it's just a procedure. George Bush saying he ordered torture in a book last year and would order it again. Well, why, when your guys got caught doing it, just send some to prison? Because it was illegal. They tried to get laws passed saying they could torture. They couldn't do that. Folks, these are criminals openly saying they order torture because they like it. Now, I'm going to go to our guest in this segment until the end of the show. I'll go into overdrive, too, to take some calls. I got to get to your calls. I want to take your calls. It's just there's so much info. Now, they admit they've built emergency centers for civil unrest. The John Warren Defense Authorization Act. They have the Emergency Centers Establishment Act that just admits what we already know has been built at old military bases. You have the Civilian Inmate Labor Camp program operating since the 70s, declassified in 1996. I mean, I'm giving you all the names. You can go to Department of Defense websites and look this all up. But talking to these guys, what's creepy is that they bug their eyes out at the workers at the base, the foreign troop trainers that are training them in torture and riot control and all the rest of it. They bug their eyes out at everybody. And it's this attitude that criminals have of trying to intimidate everybody because they know what they're doing is super illegal at this base. Okay? And we're going to break it down with our guest. But the point is, the killing of Americans, the camps, the torture, it's all out in the open. So you can't deny these camps are there because they admit that they are setting them up. They just don't want you to know where they are or the details because there's something about physically seeing it. Now, again, if you go to Infowars.com, source exposes FEMA training camp in Missouri, and it's Training Area 166, Camp Charlie, mock internment facility. That's what it is. It's a little Abu Ghraib, and they're building, they're expanding, and it's a big base. We're going to tell you which base it is, Fort Leonard, Missouri, and we're going to call him Sam. And Sam, you started breaking down a little bit last night, talking to me about this, but in your sources and the torture buildings and the rest of it. I've been rambling on, so you got the floor till we go to break. Tell everybody what you can about this facility and the beefing up of security and everything that's going on there right now.
Okay. Basically, well, it's Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and basically what's going on there is, it's where they train all the MPs, and they've always trained them there. They train the MPs for all of the military, that's Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, and actually, right about the same time as those KBR documents got released and the NDAA went through, it's an influx in military police training going on right now, and that's actually the word on the base, is that they're recruiting more MPs now than they would infantry or, say, any other branch of the Army. So for some reason or another, they're training a lot more MPs. They're training them on mob tactics, and that's what they call them, too, is mob control, so they don't want them to have a face, like it's not a certain group that they're going after, it's just mobs. And then I also overheard a comment of one of the trainees saying, well, wouldn't that hold be more aggressive? Or
Gary. That they think when they make fun of us for covering reality that people are still listening to them. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, they're trying to paint my association with you in a negative light. I mean, I've been working with you for years, and we're having great success.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Most people I've worked with and helped attack me later and make stuff up. You haven't done that, Gary. I guess you're not mentally ill.
Well, they can try to pay me as such, but I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to stop.
I think it was good in Soviet Russia. If you didn't love Stalin, they drugged you. I think everybody's children of it now. Source exposes FEMA Camp Training Center. This is where they train them for the camps all over the country. You have the different programs out there that I'm going to have added to Kurt's article after we get more info on this from the guest. with how they admit they're hiring people for FEMA camps. It's all there. It's amazing information. Okay, going back to Gary Franchi. Gary, you got cut off by the break. Again, it's just an amazing hit piece on you because it actually makes you look good. It makes them look like of all of them in a Homeland Security meeting, and they're actually having a feast at the meeting. So this is some amazing footage we're showing. It's actually dung beetles rolling piles of you know what. All right, that's enough. Gary, you're doing a great job.
Well,
you're right.
Alex.
They're so disconnected from reality. That's enough, guys. Thank you. Enough. I can't look at her all day. Get her off there. Anyways, the point is, they're so... I'll hold you over a minute if we need to. The point is, they're so disconnected from reality. Information coming up, so I've got to stop joking around here with Gary Franchi and be serious. We've got our whistleblower joining us in just a minute. I've got to be careful about exactly what I say or they'll figure out who they are. But so what if they figure it out? Well, I guess if you're in the military, they've got control over you. But it's more than just people in the military. I know I can say that much. And this is a confirmed FEMA training center. We've got some photos. We're going to get more photos and videos soon, but we've got to be sure that it doesn't expose them. It's all at Infowars.com, right? They love George Washington. They should be given lobotomies. Well, let's finish up on the other side. Then we got a FEMA camp insider coming up, those imaginary camps. We have photos. Stay with us. We got to realize how pathetic these globalists are and stop putting them up on a pedestal. They're like rotten, low-life cockroaches, criminals. I'm done with them. I'm done just groveling to the system, being afraid. I'm done. And you know what? That attitude's contagious. Now, we've got some really chilling